This episode of Now This Is Lit is brought to you by Audible. Check the link in the description to get your first Star Wars audiobook free. Everyone loves free things. Click that link. Do it. This show is also brought to you by our patrons. If you want to support the show in a different way, with just $1 a month, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. You can get a sticker. You can get access to an exclusive show that we do every month that's wild and chaotic and fun and something you can only get by becoming a member of the Patreon. There'll be so many more perks very, very soon. But for now, do you want a sticker? Do you want a sticker that has an Now This Is Lit logo? Because it's fantastic and I love them. But I also want to give them away because there's just a stack of stickers on my desk. So if you want one, $1 a month. Patreon.com/StarWarsLitPod. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It's not Valentine's Day anymore.
No. Neither when we're recording this nor when you are listening to it.
Yeah, but still. Thought I'd say it. Happy Valentine's Day. Tell the people you love them. Why was that hard to say? Anyway. Now this is a podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Feels like forever since we recorded.
I know. It's not been that long, but it's felt like a long time.
Indeed. So, let's start with what we've been reading, because I think that's a fun way to start.
Yeah.
I recently finished the second book in the Legacy of the Force series. Liked it a lot. The third one I'm going to read soonish, and we're in the territory of these are books in the series I have not read ever. So
there you go.
We'll see how that goes. And I've also been keeping up with comics, and we could talk about the Jar Jar comic a little bit, but I read it, and I really hope we get more.
Me too. It's very good. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
If you're a person who traditionally doesn't check out comics or anything like that, or is not that interested in it, or what have you, definitely read this one. I mean, it helps. It's a one-shot. Mm-hmm. So you're only committing yourself to reading one issue of a comic. It's not Vader. You don't have to read 50. You just have to read one.
Yeah.
You need 10 minutes out of your day. And it's a really good story.
You know, I never thought about it, but actually, recommending one-shots is a good way to get people into comics.
Yeah. And some of the one-shots are very strong, too.
Yeah.
So some of my favorite ones have been the one-shots.
Same. Like the, you know which one I'm thinking of.
The Kelnaka one-shot? Yeah. The Kelnaka one-shot is one of the best Star Wars comics in the canon era. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Even if you're, don't have much feelings about either Kelnaka, the character, or about Acolyte, the show, you will have... Cavan's will make you have feelings about Kelnaka reading this comic.
I also feel like that's one where, you don't really need to know a lot.
No.
It's just kind of oh, here are these characters.
No, it's not really. It's not really connected to the show in any way other than, one, Kelnaka's in it.
Yeah.
And then two, you get the explanation for why he has the head tattoos.
Yes.
That's it. That's the only connection to Acolyte, and you don't even need that context of the show to enjoy it. So.
Exactly. It's a really, really good. Highly, highly recommend. What about you?
Not a lot in terms of the Star Wars side of things. I mean, we were just talking about Jar Jar, which I just read. I've started my Afra journey.
Yeah, you have.
All the way back with old 2015, 16 Afra. I don't know what year that one is.
I think it's 2016.
16? Okay,
maybe?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's either 16 or 17. But yeah, the OG, the first Afra the first.
It's a good one.
So I have started that journey. As part of my 2026 reading resolutions. I'm not very far at the time that we're recording this, but yeah, I'm excited about that because it's long overdue. As far as, I mean, obviously, I read the original Vader comic where she first showed up. I've done Chaos Agent, which mostly kind of works out of context, not having read prior Afras. But yeah,
after reading Chaos Agent, like any Aphra that you have left is going to be 1,000 times better. It just is. Like,
that's kind of what I've heard. So
the thing about Chaos Agent is like it's not bad. It's just not as good as all the other Aphra that we've gotten.
Yeah.
So like the standard is really high and it just didn't quite get there, and that's okay. You know what? There are so many Star Wars comics. Not everyone is going to hit, and that's okay. That's okay. You and I have very different opinions about like whether or not something is actually bad, but that's a discussion for a different kind of podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Now that I've had more of my coffee, I keep wanting to say Princess and the Scoundrel, which is not what we're talking about today.
No.
Today we are doing our annual Valentine's Day book discussion. This year on Courtship of Princess Leia, which is wild. This has been like over a year in the making because like last year you were like, we got to do Courtship next. And I was like, okay, if we remember, and you did not forget.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, we do this Valentine's tradition of Star Wars romance themed books.
Yeah.
And the list ain't especially big.
I mean, it's going to grow now.
It's going to grow now. It's at some point, I don't know if 2028 is when we do Dark Disciple or not, because we haven't done that one yet. But yeah, so the list ain't particularly big. And so it seemed like I just sort of, I don't know, it just came off the top of my head clearly before Dark Disciple, because I didn't even suggest that one. But I thought of Courtship of Princess Leia. And yeah, here we are a year later. We're recording about Courtship of Princess Leia.
Absolutely wild. Haven't read this as recently compared to the recording as I would have liked.
The same.
You know, life happens. You roll with it. But we are going to do our best. And is this the first time you and I have talked about a Legends book like in depth on a show? Like we've done nameless show stuff, but like an actual Legends book discussion?
I think so.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, so like to preface like how we came into like approaching our reading, because I was rereading it and you're reading it for the first time.
Yeah.
I read it for the first time 10 years ago in 2016. I did not remember a lot of it, but I did remember some of the more, shall we say, dated, mildly, slightly problematic things from it, and that was back in 2016 that I picked up on those things.
Yeah.
So, but this book is also came out in the 90s, so
It sure did.
So, and it was written earlier than that. So,
And it was written by a dude.
yeah.
We've learned that mistake
Yeah, there's a reason.
and have not repeated it since.
There's a reason women write Leia now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, like women writing Han has not been the worst.
That's kind of that's been the better one.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's all I'll say on that. But yeah, it's kind of been better. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I didn't remember a ton, but so as I was rereading it, and I did listen to it because of the new unabridged audiobook that came out within the last few years. I don't remember exactly when. And I really actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. You know, despite some of the things we're going to talk about. Why don't you... Okay, here. I have a question before you kind of go into, like, how you really, like, came into this whole thing. As the dog is attacking you with love and affection. What did you know about this book going into it?
Other than there's the Han Leia romance of it all, because it's literally in the title, so it's kind of unavoidable. I knew that, and I knew that we get the Witches of Dathomir from this book. Cool. Those are the only two things I knew about this book.
Awesome. I love that for you. So how do we begin? The starting book discussions is hard because it's like with a book like this, especially, where do you start?
I'm going to start actually to kind of piggyback something off you said. I actually also kind of enjoyed this book more than I thought I would.
It's not a bad book.
Yeah, I ended up giving it a 3 on Goodreads.
Okay, yeah,
but if I could,
I
I would have done probably 3.5.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think I would have, like, I think 4 would have been too high.
Mm-hmm.
But there were points where like I enjoyed it the way that I would enjoy a 4 book.
Yeah. I think I also gave it a 3.
Yeah. I think if I could do it on Goodreads, I would do 3.5.
Yeah.
I think like it's sort of in that, again, that sort of like classic like middle of the pack Legends book.
Yeah.
But just slightly above the mean.
Yeah, like better Legends than you've read in the past.
Yes.
You liked it more than other things.
Yeah.
That you've knocked.
Yeah,
recently.
I think like like all the stuff on Dathomir is like the best part of the book.
Yeah.
Like everything with the Singing Mountain Clan and the Night Sisters and all that is the best part of the book.
Can I also say that like C-3PO was decent in this book too? Like I kind of really enjoyed all the nonsense.
He is a little. They're sort of like almost like a cartoon sort of exaggerated quality to him in this book, where like you take the traits that you get in the movie and then you kind of exaggerate them a little bit, because there's literally a point where he starts singing. He starts singing the King Han song or whatever. First of all,
so I had forgotten about the song. And this is like a thing. This is like a thing that people point out as to why this book is not good. And like, listen, so I'd forgotten about the song. And I got to the song and I was like, oh, I remember reading this. This is wild. But then I was disappointed that they didn't sing it in the audiobook. Like, I understand why. But I was kind of like waiting.
You were waiting for them to just like have a tune and everything.
A little bit. So, kind of like missed the mark on that. But as soon as it started, I was like, oh, I remember that. And then he's like, there's like 60 other verses. And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah. It's classic Legends nonsense.
Yeah.
It's Luke falls in love with a computer. The planet is alive. Like, it's all the classic. And like, it's the bullshit you come to Legends for.
It really is. Legends is like a very special brand of like just like very weird Star Wars. And of course, there's like a spectrum. For me, if it goes too far, I don't like it as much. There's kind of like a healthy middle where I'm like, oh, C-3PO wrote a song and is singing it. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, okay. I will agree that the stuff on Dathomir I really enjoyed. Again, didn't really remember it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if like when I first read it, I was more invested in like the Han and Leia relationship of it all,
probably,
and less like what's Dathomir.
Yeah, that's kind of why you come to the book,
right.
Why you come to a book called The Courtship of Princess Leia.
Because like I hadn't really watched Clone Wars yet in 2016.
Yeah,
like I had seen, because I've talked about this before. I've seen like enough of it, but not like enough to be like, oh, Dathomir is important. Or
right.
Like it has a completely new context in canon or whatever. These are the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
But listening to it now, I really liked that because like this is the origins of what we are getting now in Dathomir.
Right.
It's not, what we know it as in canon, but one thing I love about like canon, going from Legends to canon and like going back and forth is like seeing, bless you. Oh, there was a big sneeze. Anyone else's dog just like sneezed so loud that you can hear it from a different level in the house. Anyway. One of my favorite things about that is seeing how like, oh, we have Dathomir in canon. This is what it looks like, but it came from this.
Yeah.
The origin was this book.
Yeah.
Really, really like that because to see the things that they've kind of like kept the same and the things that they've changed a little bit.
Right. Because I was trying to do like read in between the lines and context cues because like, the Night Sisters in this book aren't aliens. I think they're humans.
Yes.
Like they're humans who have kind of been like warped or like whatever by the magic, but I don't think they're aliens.
Yeah,
I was trying like each time they described a Night Sister, I was trying to pick up and deduce some like I don't think they're like Ventress, Mother Talzin like aliens.
Yeah.
I think they're just humans.
Right.
Because like it talks about some people like leaving the Night Sisters and whatnot, and so I'm like, okay, so like I don't, and like clearly the Singing Mountain Clan people I think are humans.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so they must be humans who just practice this magic.
Right.
But then in canon, they're their own species, essentially.
Right. Side note, I kind of forgot about this, but like actually one of my favorite Clone Wars episodes is the one where is it like Ventress is trying to like choose which Night Brother? And it's the whole like they're going through the trials and stuff.
Right.
I love that episode. Like that's such just good Star Wars lore. Like, oh, this is what they do in this situation. I love that. So that's a really good episode.
Yeah, that's a really good
or collection of episodes. I actually can't remember.
That's a really good part of the show. Like when we first get to Dathomir and all of that, because like you spend so much time like on this world and with this culture. Like Clone Wars up to that point like doesn't actually do a whole lot of that. Like you spend a lot of time in familiar locations. You're talking about like Coruscant or whatever.
Yeah.
But then here's like it takes this extended time to be like, let's just spend like 3-4 episodes on this like whole world and this society of these witches.
Yeah.
And what it's like on Dathomir. Like I remember watching it for the first time and feeling like that was one of those moments of like you get that sort of like big galaxy moment in Star Wars. You're watching and you're like, oh, like here's this whole little pocket that I've just never known about, and here's the show telling me about it for the first time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that stuff in Star Wars. Like take me to any random planet in Star Wars and tell me about like give me like a day in the life. Like what's the culture like?
Yeah.
That I like that. I like that stuff. But that was just a side note that I thought of because I was thinking about like the stuff on Dathomir in like Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That's slightly different. But again, it's like you're building on the foundations of what this book kind of set up. Which I really, really like. I really like the characters and the characterizations in this book. Oh my God, what's the prince's name? Why can't I remember?
Isolder.
Yes. So like I remember not liking him, but then by the end of this book, I'm like, oh, I like this guy. Like I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
That he found his found his person and they're gonna go live happily ever after or whatever.
Yeah. I did kind of like I again by the time we get to sort of the final act of the book, I was kind of invested like in their romance.
Yeah, exactly.
What to me, I now can't remember the name of the
me either.
The clan woman that he actually like falls for.
Oh man.
But like him and her.
Yes, and like that is something that Star Wars books and Star Wars stories do a lot that I love, which is like this is a Han and Leia romance. And yet, we get a whole other romance that's almost like I was almost more invested in this romance.
A little
than
bit.
Han and Leia.
A little
well,
bit.
And that part of that is like they're gonna get together, so like you're not really worried about it. There's not really any stakes.
Yeah.
And that's almost kind of why they had to have like almost like a side plot romance, because it's like, okay, now you're invested in, are these two gonna get together?
Right.
And it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
And like I liked the romance. I liked it. It wasn't quite as weird as some of the Han and Leia stuff. Which, like, why was it so weird?
I don't know. Well, first, what's weird about it is they sort of do the, like, Kanan and Hera backstep with them, where, like, you get to the end of Return of the Jedi, and you're like, oh, we've now got the love triangle resolved, and, like, they're now together, and then you pick them up in this book and like, oh, they're like, we're back to will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Huh? Like, it's like Rebels does that same thing where you're watching the show for like 3 seasons. You're like, oh yeah, Kanan and Hera, they're like, they're together a couple. And then you get to season 4 and you're like, wait, and they're like, so what are we? And like, huh? Like, we know what you are. We've been watching you for 4 seasons. Like, what?
We know.
Exactly. And like this book does that.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're like not quite sure. And like, what do you mean they're not sure? Like, we watched the original trilogy. We're all sure.
But okay, when did this book come out? Like in the 90s?
Yeah. That's a good question. Let me
So while you're looking that up.
Oh, I can't even pull up StarWarsBooks.info because we haven't gotten that far in Legends.
No.
We're working
on it.
I have to go to the problematic book.
No. Okay, that's incentive to keep going.
Oh, there's a long way to get to Courtship of Princess Leia. There's a lot of Legends books.
Yeah, getting past Return of the Jedi in itself is it's gonna take a long time.
1994.
Oh, okay, earlier than I remembered. So, okay.
So, the cover. It just showed me the classic cover.
Oh, the classic cover with her.
With them just hanging out, you know.
Oh my God,
Again, 1994.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of explains to me like why there is that kind of like backstep, because like it's 1994. Return of the Jedi was over 10 years ago. People are hungry for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Give us a romance that's Han and Leia. Who cares if we go backwards? It's been 10 years since Return of the Jedi came out.
Right.
You know, no one cares. No one cares. And, you know, everyone's buying that book because of the cover, because of different, you know, who cares? We don't need to think too much about that.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just look up the cover of Courtship of Princess Leia. You're gonna get you're gonna see the Essential Legends collection cover. That's not what we're talking about. You're gonna see the cover with that's got a Rancor on it and Leia in her Endor outfit. That's not what we're talking about. You got to go one farther back. When you see it, you will instantly know. Oh, that's what they're talking about.
Oh my God.
So pause this, go do that if you don't know what we're talking about, and then come back to this conversation.
Yeah. So when I got my copy of this book, probably like mid 2010s, I got the one with her Endor outfit. So I was not aware. I was not aware of the original cover, because I didn't read this. You know, I wasn't reading anything in the 90s, really.
Do you have the original cover?
No.
Book? No. Okay.
No, I just have the Essential Legends and the.
Yeah, because I saw the other one.
Yeah, that's the OG one that I have that I read. I didn't like. It doesn't have the, or maybe it does have the Legends banner.
It might.
I don't remember, but like, yeah. So that's the one I have. So, do I want that a copy with that original cover for the sake of having it? I don't know how to answer that question. If it was a hardcover,
yeah,
then yes. Not gonna face that one outward though. Just gonna put that one out there. Yeah. So, should we just, now that we're here, dive into some of this, more of this? It's just, the whole like
they're fighting over her, that element of the story, like she's the prize.
That I don't like.
Yeah.
That I don't like, but also like almost when I was listening to it again, it kind of does make sense if you put it into the context of like the cultures of these worlds.
Yeah.
Right, like it makes sense that like this is like how they would try to claim this woman in this society.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But if you put it in like a like a real world context, like now, not great.
Yeah, it's like you like always the test is like, would you write this story now?
No,
and like
not
you
like
wouldn't
this.
know.
No.
Like,
I mean, that's why Princess and the Scoundrel exists.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like Princess and the Scoundrel is essentially the canon version of this story. Like in terms of like broad strokes, it's telling the similar story, but it's not this story. And there's a reason it's not this story. There's multiple reasons it's not this story.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't need, like, we've already resolved it, like, because the Princess and the Scoundrel literally starts like hours after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody fighting over Leia.
Yeah.
They get married like the next day. Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah.
like,
Exactly. It's like the second chapter.
Yeah. And that to me, just like we were talking about, it kind of fits better in like the context of Return of the Jedi. Like, we are celebrating. The war is, for now the war is over. Like, for the context of this moment, we're celebrating. Yay, let's get married. And then like the next day after they get married, they're like, oh, the war's not over. We got to do all this stuff, which is like a lot more, I don't want to say realistic because it's fake and in space, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot more believable, maybe I should say. But this book is kind of like, not that. Because again, it's been 10 years since this movie. And it's also very early on in like, we've just restarted the whole, like, the EU is now expanding. That's literally why it's called that. I don't know why I said that. It's because it's 94. So you've gotten like some Heir to the Empire and like whatever else came out really early.
Yeah, because you got Jinja in there, so that means you got you're a couple X-wing books deep in. So
So the thing that I really didn't like, and probably I would say one of the most problematic things, is kind of like where how does it happen? Now I can't remember how it happens, where he kind of like kidnaps her, but like the manner in which it happens is not super great and very unlike Han. Like, something that you'll hear a lot of people say about this book is the characterization of Han in a lot of it does not feel like the Han that we know. And like, I disagree with that to a point, but also like this part of it where he just like kidnaps her against her will, all of that. Like, that doesn't, to me, feel super like something that he would do. And like, if you want to dig deep enough into the story, he is desperate enough at this point that like, sure, I guess. But I don't love the fact that it was without her consent. I don't like that. I don't like that. It reads weird. It feels weird. But of course, right away, then you do get like, they're on the Falcon and she's like, "You suck for doing this."
Yeah.
And she doesn't just like, you know.
Yeah. And even you have the element of like Chewbacca's kind of pissed off about it all.
So like, even within the context of the book, like all the other characters are like, "Dude, why did you do that?
Yeah.
You're the worst." So it's not like any part of this book is saying that was fine.
Yeah.
For the record. It is just kind of like, it's very jarring to read that in 2026.
Yeah. Like, the whole thing, like a lot of with this book is like, and it kind of connects to both of the things that we just talked about, like that element and then the sort of like the two of them competing over Princess Leia is like, the story does kind of lean into like fairy tale elements.
Yeah.
Like, it very much like the whole courtship of Princess Leia of it all. Like, there's the element of like the two warriors fighting for the heart of the fair lady, and then the one like whisks her like whisks her away to, you know, on an adventure to convince her that he's the one, right?
Yeah.
Like it tries to kind of do the fairy tale in space thing with it. And it just is because it's like, it's not a fairy tale, and it's written in the 90s, and now we're looking at it with 2026 eyes. Right. It kind of reads weird.
I feel, because like, obviously I can't speak to this from this perspective, but I feel like reading it for the first time in 1994, it probably was fine.
Oh yeah.
It probably was like interesting and cool. Like, oh, Star Wars is doing this. Doing it like this, and also the fact that you're getting more Han and Leia, because you've gotten obviously some of it in Legends at this point, but you still don't have their like the story of like, okay, how they like solidified that our love is forever. You know, you don't have that yet. So like, oh yay, we're getting this, and like, it wasn't, you know, reading it then was probably fine, and it's just reading it now is just that's like that's a tough thing about reading some of these earlier Legends books, is like, that doesn't age well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just kind of like, that's kind of how it is. And like, I wouldn't say this book is like bad or anything. There's just some of it that you can tell. You have to know the context of when it was written, when it was released. It came out in 1994. That's really like all you need to know.
Yeah.
I do. So the part, because like, you know, the whole like him kidnapping her didn't feel super Han. Han winning a whole planet and then realizing he was duped is so Han Solo. Like, that part I loved. Like, what do you mean this is not what I thought it was?
Yeah,
that was great.
That's incredible. I loved that bit. Oh, that was another thing I went into knowing about this book. Or I may... maybe I don't know if I knew that it was in this book, or I think I may have just like known it was like a Legends tidbit, which is that Han wins Dathomir in a bet.
Iconic.
And I think I got to that part and I'm like, oh, like it makes sense that it happens in this book of all books. So yeah.
Do we ever, I don't know if either of us can answer this question, do we ever like hear about this again? Like, does he just own this planet forever?
No, because doesn't he like give the deed to the Singing Mountain Clan people or whatever? I think that's resolved at the end.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think he gives it to them, because like they're in like there's like a, like they struck a bargain or whatever, where it's like, help us out, and then like I'll hand over the papers to the planet.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, because I was thinking at the end, because I remember where they were having that conversation. He was like, "Hey, if you want to go to Dathomir," and I was thinking like, "Oh, he still owns it," but no, I do remember that.
Yeah,
now.
I think he gives it to them.
Because I was gonna say, I don't feel like in any later Legends Han is ever like, "Hey, here's how Dathomir is doing." It makes more sense now. I do like that got resolved.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm stupid. When like Han, like you can say a lot about this book, but Han does have some growth in this book. Like, he starts out like just being a complete idiot. Let's just be honest. And by the end, he's kind of like, oh, okay. I can be a better person. And I can be the person that I want to be for the woman that I love.
Yeah.
I do like where the two of them end up at the end. I don't know why we had to go through all of this to get them back to where they were at the end of Return of the Jedi.
It's so weird. That's just so weird.
But again, I think it's just like, because this is the kind, like, I don't have the context, obviously, for these kinds of things, but I'm like, is it almost like we're reintroducing this romance after, now we're doing these books. So, like, do we need to, like, kind of, like, hype up this romance again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's some of that. I think there's also the fact that when this book starts, we're sort of looking at the two of them and the galaxy in a very different place.
Yeah.
Because you get to the end of Jedi and they admit their love for each other, but now you're a couple years I don't know exactly, but like you're a couple years from that, and you're still having all the fighting going on,
right? And
you have the New Republic and the sort of politics of it all.
Oh yeah, because you have the context of the X-wing.
Yes.
Now, or the early one.
Yes.
Anyway.
So like you have all of that happening too, and I think one thing that's interesting, and it's sort of like a nice little parallel between Courtship and Princess and the Scoundrel, is how like Leia's private life and her marriage in both cases are sort of politicized.
Yeah.
Because like in Princess and the Scoundrel, you have the element of they get married and then Mon Mothma's like, come ride our cool ship so that you can show the galaxy that like everything's cool. And there's a New Republic, and we're bringing stability and all of that, right? So you can be the sort of poster child for this kind of new era of the galaxy. So you have that element, and then in this book, you have the element of essentially like, I mean, and it's like another thing, like basically the surviving Alderaanians basically being to Leia like, okay, like you're marrying this guy. Like,
yeah,
like we've kind of decided this already.
Yeah.
Which again is like one weird aging weird, but also is again classic fairy tale. It's like you have to marry this prince to secure the alliance of our families or like of our kingdom and whatever, right? Like so like it's classic in that way. But yeah, like in that too, it's like, okay, we want this we want heaps. It popped just into my brain. I was like, what's it called? And like, it's heaps.
Yeah.
Like we want heaps to join the New Republic, and we need them. So it's like you gotta marry Iceholder so that we can secure this alliance, and they'll join us and all of that. So there's that political element of like in both books where she can't just sort of have a regular marriage and kind of enjoy your life. Everything is like, oh, like how is this going to play, or who can use this to their advantage or whatever. Yeah.
I do like how it kind of was like almost leaning into the like, here's gonna be a marriage of convenience, and then kind of it was like, nah. Nah, because even with our secondary romance plot, like that works out. Like they choose, that's what they want.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, they're both kind of going against, like, he's kind of like, hey mom, no, I'm gonna marry this girl instead. I kind of like that.
Classic fairy, very fairy tales. Yeah. Like, here's the arranged, approved marriage that all the parents want or whatever, and that's right. But the kids have their own ideas, and they're gonna choose love first and do that.
I never really like approached the book in the context of like looking at it through the lens of it being a fairy tale, but I kind of really like it a little bit more now that we're doing that.
Yeah,
I
mean, there's also witches. So, I mean, like, there's so many fairy tale elements.
I mean, like, I just I even in recognizing those elements of it, I never just like fully was like fairy tale, because like that's just not how I was thinking about it. But I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, it ultimately gets resolved, but like there's also the like funny / weird like Han is king of Corellia plot.
so wild. Well, because I didn't remember how it ended, and at first I was like, oh, I don't remember like that he's that throughout all this, and then it turns out that he's actually not.
No.
Wild. I love the C-3PO just like going on his own little like side quest.
Yeah.
That give the droid a side quest.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the book like 10 times better automatically. That just reminded me, I cannot wait until you read Low Red Moon. Oh my god, you got to get to it.
That's gonna be next.
Oh, like you're gonna.
I know I'm gonna love it.
Stay tuned for my interview with Mike Chen, which is gonna happen still. Don't worry. Because I can't wait for that either. It's almost like I'm almost disappointed that we can't do like a theoretical, like if this book were written today, how would you do it? Because it already exists.
Yeah.
Which it's
Beth Revis answered the question for us.
She did. And there we do have a discussion about that. It was like one of the first episodes in this feed is our Princess of the Scoundrel discussion. But yeah, I didn't ask because when I talked to her, I don't think I asked about anything she might have known or taken from Courtship to write Princess and the Scoundrel. But it is interesting to think about, or like compare, and like not comparing in terms of like quality, but just comparing in terms of like how did we handle this story, because it is different, but it does have similar elements.
Yeah.
I love how like in both of them, Luke is kind of just like, yeah, I'll be part of the wedding, and he's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
I love how this is neither of these are Luke books, but he kind of just shows up for the sake of like Luke has to kind of be around because he's Luke and he's her brother, and also like reminding everyone that like this love triangle is no longer a love triangle. You kind of have to like reinforce that.
Again, it's been 10 years.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna forget because it can't be a love triangle. I mean, I guess it could, but that would be really weird. But anyway. Anything else? There's a lot of stuff we didn't get into. Like we didn't really talk about like a lot more specific about the Night Sister Dathomir lore, but like it's all really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth shouting out. I mean, people did this at the time, but Singing Mountain Clan got recanonized like a year or two ago, like 2 years ago. It was Tales of the Empire.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
when Morgan Elsbeth survives the attack, and then like in the first episode, she's rescued by the Singing Mountain Clan.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so Tales recanonizes that element of the book.
And see, I love when Star Wars does that. Because like you can take, and this is how, like there's got to be a list somewhere, or I'll make one. You can take a name, you can take a concept or a group from Legends, and it doesn't have to have the same context or anything, but just put it in canon, and it's just like it's a nice nod to like this is where we've been.
Yeah. And
this is where we are. And you know, it's a nice reminder to a certain segment of fans that like they didn't erase Legends. They didn't. They're pulling from it constantly. And like Legends is so vast that like there are probably tons of things that they pulled that we miss, or that I miss, or that you just don't even like think about. But it's constantly happening. And then you also have the element of, on top of that, now Star Wars authors who read Legends when it was the EU, when they were the only Star Wars books, and are now taking parts of that and putting it into their books and making it canon. Or in the case of like Mike Chen, just like Revenge of the Sithing everything that he does, and like in a way to like honor what has come before.
I was just gonna drop a hot take, but I was like, are we gonna do a future hot takes episode, and do I sit on that hot take? I don't know.
Tell me the hot take, and if I think we could do a longer discussion about it,
Okay.
I'll cut it. Ooh, we got to save that for that
Okay.
episode. That's
Yeah.
really good. That's really good. That's really good. Oh my God. By the time we record that, I'm going to forget. So don't. Ooh, we might have to record that one sooner than I thought we would. But once again, we're kind of like we kind of like have a backlog of things we have to record now, because of course that's going to happen again. Anyway. I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, in summary, if you will, not everything in this book ages well, but is still like 1,000% worth reading, I think. And you know, even over 20 years later, 30.
Yeah, it's over 30. Yeah, 32 this year.
I'm tired. I don't know how to math. So yeah, I am happy also that you found a Legends book that's like mid-tier and didn't stumble upon yet another one that you don't ever want to read again.
Yeah. I mean, would I read it again? I don't know.
You know what I mean, though.
But like I had an enjoyable time with it.
You're probably going to remember more about it than other certain books. You are going to have to finish Republic Commando at some point.
Am I?
I guess not. You don't have to be a completionist like me. I love you, and I love that we have different opinions. That's what makes talking Star Wars books with you interesting.
Yeah, it does.
And, you know, it's quite possible that you might be on this main feed a little bit more in the next few months, just because I think I like recording with you. It's fun. But you'll always be my favorite producer and my favorite human.
I would say right back at you, but you're not my favorite producer. You are my favorite human, though.
Yeah, you don't have a show for which I could be a producer. That's fine. I kind of produce some elements of your life in a way, though.
Yeah, you are a producer of my life.
I kind of do keep you alive in some aspects. This is a well balanced, healthy relationship. Happy Valentine's Day! I love you.
I love you too.
All right, we'll see you all next time. I don't know.
Stay cool, people.
Now This Is Lit is part of the Faraway Fandom Network. It is produced by Davor and written, hosted, and edited by me. Jose Jimenez designed our podcast art. You can keep up with the show on Substack at Now This Is Lit, and find the show wherever you get your podcasts. There are so many ways you can support the show, and all of those ways are linked in the show description. The newest way is to become a member of our Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get access to an exclusive show and a sticker. And if we get 500 people to support the Patreon per month, I can hire an editor. That would be great for me, and maybe for you too. So if you'd like to support the show with just $1 a month, you can do it that way. Or you can just keep listening and sharing the episodes. That is also helpful, and I appreciate it. For more book reviews and Star Wars Book Celebration, follow Star Wars Book Reviews on Instagram and TikTok.